Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of the Parry where we don't pull or duck no punches. And the parry is fundamental to boxing. You know what it is. I'm your host, Bomani UFG. I'm just waiting on my co-host. You know the pragmatic one, Blak. But let me remind y'all to please jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. The Parry is back for 2025. I know we left y'all for a minute, but now we back and we black and we still love the sport, man. We're gonna review this past year in boxing, 2024, which was one of the best years in boxing. Um, a lot of good fights. We're gonna talk about, give our opinions on what was the fight of the year, fighter of the year, um, knockout of the year, trainer of the year, uh, prospect of the year, even promoter of the year. And we also got some awards for women's boxing we want to, give our opinions on as far as female fighter of the year, female women's fight of the year, and knockout of the year when it comes to women's boxing. But 2024 was it was an interesting year, man. A great year, great fights, some underwhelming fights, some underwhelming performances, some unexpected performances. Uh, some fighters who wasn't necessarily on the radar made names for themselves. Canelo fought I think he fought twice last year. He fought Munguia. He fought Berlanga. You had Terrence Crawford making his 154-pound debut fighting Madrimov, which I think a lot of people didn't give Terrence Crawford his credit. I guess they was kind of underestimating or really didn't know who Israel Madrimov was or how good he actually is. So I give Terrence Crawford a lot of respect for that fight. Then you had some knockouts, man. Like you had Dubois Joshua knockout over Ngannou. Um, you had Iglesias versus Fandango, was a crazy knockout. You had as far as promoters who was really stepping up in 2024. Like I like a lot what Frank Warren and Queensberry Promotions was doing. Top Rank put on some good cards this year. PBC kind of fell back. I mean, we thought that with that contract that they got with Amazon Prime that they would put on a lot of big fights, but it wasn't like we didn't hear too much from PBC in 2024. I know Tank fought Frank Martin, which was a good fight. But a devastating knockout, another devastating knockout from Tank Davis. I believe you had David Benavidez, if I'm not mistaken. He fought Vazdik last year. That was a good fight. And my co-host just pulled up. Yo, Shay Black, let me know if you're ready. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready me to bring you on. All right. Let's bring him on. There you go. The pragmatic Shay Black. What's good with you, brother?
What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up with it? Yeah, man.
Happy New Year and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, happy
2025. We
calendar
back. We
New
live.
Year.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I see the bucket. I see the bucket there. You know what I'm saying? Looks familiar. Look like something. Looks like something I would wear. People like, listen, it's okay. I know I inspire your style. It's all good. Anyway, we're
Ooh,
gonna
you
keep
need to stop. You need to stop. You need to stop.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I like that bucket though, but he looks familiar. You know what I'm saying?
You need
But
to stop.
anyway, it looks familiar though. It looks familiar though. But yeah, man, I was just talking about 2024 was a great year of boxing. Some of the highlights, some low lights in 2024, man. Like overall, man, like how you felt about last year, uh, the state of boxing in 2024. Was it a good year? Was it a so-so year in comparison to years in the past? Like how did you view last year and just in overall in regards to boxing and this landscape? Like what's your thoughts on it?
It was one of them years like 98, where there was a lot of big fights out there waiting to be made that didn't get made just yet, but they're out there. There's a lot of potential brewing, a lot of budding talent, We seen a lot of breakout. We seen some breakout boxers this year. So it was one of them years where it might not have been a whole lot of big fights, but there were a lot of anticipation for bigger fights to come just off of what we were able to see this year.
No doubt, no doubt. Shout out to my brother Rock. I see you, man. Appreciate you tuning in, tapping in with us, brother. Um,
Absolute. Peace to the homie Rock.
I think, I think 2024, regards to boxing, I think we did get a lot of the fights. There was a lot of good cards.
No,
Now,
absolutely.
there's
No,
there's
there was
definitely
a lot of good fights. It just wasn't the big fights that that we want to see, but there were a lot of fights that we might not have anticipated being as good as they were. So it was a good
right.
year. Don't get it. Don't confuse what I'm saying as it not being a good year. It was absolutely a good year.
I thought it was a great year, man. I was even entertained by the Anthony Joshua Francis Ngannou fight, which I thought at first on the surface seemed like a spectacle. Which I guess to some people may say that it was. It wasn't really like a real fight, right? In the
Right.
sense of like we didn't have two high top level heavyweights going at it. We had one former champion, probably at the top of his game, going up against somebody coming from another sport into boxing, who made his name in MMA. Now he's crossing over into boxing. Had a good performance against Tyson Fury. Some would say. Some even think he won that fight. And go up against Anthony Joshua, the former unified heavyweight champion, and basically got steamrolled. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
yeah,
it was
yeah.
entertaining, and it was a good card too. That was
it,
a
it
good
was
card.
it was a separation of skills in that fight. This is boxing at the highest level, or at I
Right.
don't know if I could say Anthony Joshua is the highest level, but at a premier level. I don't know what the situation was with Fury. I don't know
Right.
if he just didn't take him serious, going up in there with an MMA fighter. I thought that actually Fury got bested in that fight personally, but it was a close fight. And we seen what happened when, he continued when what's my man in Ngannou when Ngannou
Right.
continued his career as a boxer. We seen where it went. What was it? 2 rounds. It was just,
Yeah, it was he got steamrolled, man. I thought
he
I
got
was waiting for
three
you to call
times.
him Goonie Goo Goo. I was
He got.
waiting. I was waiting. I was waiting for you to call him
I
Goody Goo
said
Goo,
this
yo.
year. What's funny? I said this year I'm gonna do better with the names this year. That's what I said to myself. That's why I did what I did. I sat there and made sure I got my man name right, man. You know what I'm saying? I made sure I got the name right. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, peace, my brother Lou in the chat, man. Appreciate you tapping in with us, brother. Yeah, man. And that was also a good card. If I'm not mistaken, that was the same card. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Ray Ford Nick Ball fight was on that card, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was. If it wasn't on that card, it was on a Fury and Ngannou card. But that Nick Ball Ray Ford fight was an excellent fight, man. I don't think people really put some respect on that fight. Nick Ball really, yeah, that dude, he built like a pit bull, man. He was like the white version of Pitbull Cruz, man. The way his frame is, you know what I'm saying. I thought that was a damn good fight. That was a damn good card. And shout out to my man Turkey Al Sheikh making his name in the sport, in
Yeah,
regards
yeah.
to promotion and getting a lot of these promotional companies on board. You see a lot of fighters leaving their promotional companies when their contract is up, going over there signing with the Saudi and Riyadh season, or going over to Matchroom, or pretty much any promotional company that's affiliated with Riyadh season. I mean, yo, you got to get that man his props, man. But we'll get to all of that later, man. But we do want to get to some of these, give our opinions on fight of the year, fighter of the year, uh, promoter of the year, knockout of the year, prospect of the year, and also trainer of the year. Uh, where should we start?
Well,
For those in the chat, man, you want to start with fighter of the year?
nah. We start with trainer of the year. You know what I mean? We
Trainer
just
of
start.
the year.
We just start with trainer of the year. It
Okay.
was a good year. Who were the candidates that we had for trainer of the year this year?
We had listen, man, I'm bad with names, but I know we had Fundora's trainer, the Pops, right? Papa
Freddie
Fundora.
Fundor.
Right. We had Inoue's Pops.
which Mr. Inouye. I don't know his
Mr.
first
Inouye,
up,
whatever
up
my
top
man name
there,
is,
but we know that
and we
he's
have
another
Brian
father
Bomac
son trainer.
McIntyre. Right, we have Brian Bomac McIntyre. Right, he's also not just a trainer of Terrence Crawford. He also trains Keyshawn Davis. He trains my man Stephen Too Cold Nelson. You know what I mean? He trained some good fighters, some world champions, and some up and coming champions. He also, I believe, he trained Chris Eubanks for a fight. If I'm not mistaken, that's when he got in that trouble when he
He
went over
did.
to England,
He did.
right?
He trained him over there in London and or in Europe, and Eubank won. It was an upset.
Yeah, yeah,
Eubank
man.
won in an upset. You know what I
So
mean?
you
But
know,
this year,
he definitely got the sauce. You know what I'm saying? They got these
mhm,
dudes putting the dubs on their records. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, but this year though, how was his resume this year? What did he look like this year?
Who you talking about? Eubanks?
Bomac. We
Oh,
talking
Bomac.
trainers right now. Yeah, we talking trainers
Well,
right
well,
now.
you know, this year, I'm pretty sure, you know, you got Terrence Crawford somewhere on the menu. He about to fight, looking like he about to fight. What's my man name? Man, I'm bad with these Russian names, man. Homeboy that beat the brakes off for Tim Tszyu in his last fight. The other champion at 154. Man, I can't pronounce my man name, man. I'm not even gonna try to butcher his name, man. But y'all know if you know who I'm talking about, put his name in the chat, man. Like the Russian dude that beat the brakes off uh Tim Tszyu, dropped them all, had him beat him from pillar to post in his last fight. They talking about Terrence Crawford and him fighting this year, which that's gonna be a good one. I think that's a better fight than people probably gonna give him credit for, because I predict Terrence Crawford probably gonna stop dude or win in a pretty good fashion, or it might even be a ugly fight because dude throws a lot of punches and he hits hard. He's a big strong Russian. He comes forward.
Oh, I gotta get
He's
this dude's name, man. I can't continue to go on like this without having this dude's name, man.
I
This is
gotta look, just look up. Hold on, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, we gonna look up. Let's see. Let me tell you right now. Yeah, there you go. Murtazalayev. That's his name. Man, jeez. Bakram Murtalazayev. Yeah, that's his name. Man, yeah. Murtalazayev. That dude. That dude can fight, man. I think him and
now he can fight, and it's looking like a unification. It looks like his next match will be a unification match with
Terrence
Crawford.
Crawford. Right.
With Terrence
Because
Crawford.
he has the IBF belt. I mean, he beat Earth, Wind, and Fire out of Tim Tszyu. So I think he'll be a formidable opponent against Terrence Crawford. But Terrence Crawford is so good, you know, when he fights these guys that are actually pretty good fighters. If he doesn't completely steamroll them like the way he did Errol Spence Jr., he don't really get the credit, man. People don't really want to give that man his credit for his greatness, because I really think the fight against Madrimov that he had last year, Madrimov is a really good fighter, man. And I guess people felt like that he should have dominated him in a fashion like he did Errol Spence, but you
Well,
know, it wasn't like that.
Madrimov wasn't a household name. He wasn't a name that people really know or hear, the casual boxing fan. So when you have a fight that you don't just go out there, like you said, and steamroll the opponent, and the casual fan doesn't know him, whereas they knew Errol Spence, and Errol Spence was number one on a lot of pound for pound lists,
Right,
between him and Crawford. It does kind of it kind of makes it look like you struggle with someone you shouldn't have struggled with, which is an unfair assessment, because we know styles make fights, and we know that that this guy is a champion right now,
right,
or was a
right, right,
champion.
right,
He was dethroned,
right.
but we know he was a champion. So who else
Well,
we have?
he
So we're talking fighter, a trainer of the year right now, and
right.
so we said Inouye, we said Freddie Fundora, and we said um Bomac. And I'm gonna say, to me, the winner, we announcing the winners. because I don't see anybody. It was to me clear cut. This man, as far as what he accomplished in the year of boxing as a trainer, was head and shoulders above any other trainer. Last time I seen something like this was maybe Nacho Bernstein with the Marquez brothers.
Right.
And I'll say it's Freddie Fundora with he trained not only his son Sebastian
Sebastian.
Fundora, who's a
Right.
problem, but he trained a champion in his daughter Gabriella Fundora, Sweet Poison. So
Right. One of the
this man
dopest
right
names
here.
in boxing. I love that name, man.
Mm-hmm,
I love that
mm-hmm.
name. But shout out to Freddie Fundora, who is the Parry's trainer of the year. I think that's
Yeah,
well deserved, man. I agree with
absolutely.
you. You got two, Sebastian. He only had one fight last year, beating Tim Tszyu for I think the WBO. Actually, he
Which
had
was
the
an
WBO
upset.
WBC
Which,
strap. Yep,
which was in
was an
fact
upset.
upset. People were expecting Tim Tszyu. This was supposed to be almost like a coming out party for Tim Tszyu of sorts. A
Right.
nasty clash. You had the nasty the half moon Caesar, the
Yeah,
half moon. You know what I
gave him the
mean? He had
nines.
the half moon.
He gave him the nines illmatic.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
was
That
farting
wasn't
his
the
head,
Ilmac.
man.
Nah, he had the Raekwon the chef. That was the half moon right there. He had the J part. We used to call
He
that the
had
J
the
part back in the day.
he had the incarcerated Scarface's part
Yeah,
up in his skull
actual
piece.
fact. You know what I'm saying? So we see how that fight went. So I definitely would have to definitely say that that Fundora was definitely trainer of the year. You know,
Yo, peace, family. Appreciate you checking in, brother Kai East. Um, yeah, man. So I agree with you, man. I think Freddie Fundora did an excellent job last year. Of course, Bo Mack had a good year. All these guys that we mentioned had pretty good years last year. We probably left a few people names off the list that we probably could have mentioned, but it's neither here nor there. This is the Parry where we don't pull the duck, no punches, and the Parry's fundamental to boxing. So the Parry's trainer of the year is Freddie Fundora, man. So shout out to him. Uh, let's move on to I guess prospect of the year, man.
prospect of the year. This was a good one. You know, aside from uh, my man Coolman. What's my man name? I always
You talking about
mispronounce his name. Huh?
who? Who? You talking about
Moulton. Whatever.
Oh yeah, Carmel Moulton.
Carmel Moulton. Coolman. I said
Yeah.
Coolmel. Carmel Moulton. My man Carmel Moulton, who he still remains one of the top prospects in the game. But this was a breakout year for young prospect Abdullah Mason, who he had a phenomenal year this year. Um, Beating up on the likes of uh he had what three fights this year, or was it 4 fights?
Hold on 1 second. Let me look him up. Abdullah Mason fought 5 times last year.
I mean, we got the clips.
Oh, you got we got the clips. Hold on, let me look. Let me. You sure, brother? Because I don't have the clips. But what I do have, we just gonna put them up on the screen. For those who don't know, the young brother Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason right now currently he dons a record of 16-0 with 14 knockouts. His last fight against Johan Vasquez, he KO'd him in the second round. I did watch that fight. I mean, all his fights are entertaining, man. He stays in the pocket. He makes you miss. He's even willing to even show to have a pretty decent chin. Never really seen him hurt or rock. But
Well, he had to
he's
get
gonna
up
do
off
his.
the canvas twice in his fight with, I believe it was Guevara or
Oh, actually,
who,
no. Actually, his last fight against Vasquez, he did. You're right. He got dropped twice
yeah,
in
he
the
was
first round.
dropped twice, having to get up off the
Yeah,
canvas.
yeah. But he's a dog, and I've seen him stop
He
dudes with
showed a
body
lot of
shots.
heart. He showed a lot of grit in
I
that.
seen him stop dudes with body shots, drop dudes, just knock him clean out. Like the dude got a great arsenal. Uh, this kid looks like the real deal. Like he may be the future of boxing, man. He went in 2024. He went. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He went 5-0 with 5 knockouts. I mean, it don't get no better than that. 5-0 with 5 knockouts for Abdullah Mason, the Parry's prospect of the year, man. Really, really like this kid. Some honorable mentions. Uh, you got people like what's my man name? I can't really call him prospect because some of these dudes are champions. But I'm a big fan of Keyshawn, but I wouldn't call Keyshawn a prospect at this point. Keyshawn is more of a contender now. You know what I mean? But Abdullah Mason, man, the Parry's prospect of the year. What we got next?
Next, we have Fight of the Year.
Fight of the year.
Yeah, we have Fight of the Year, which the nominees for Fight of the Year were, we had Usyk versus Fury 2. There was also we had
Usyk versus Fury 2.
We had Better B versus Bivol. This was Usyk versus Fury 2. Very, very, very vicious. A lot of for the heavyweight division, you don't see a lot of action, a lot of two-way action like this in the heavyweight division. This definitely seemed like a case of the two best heavyweights. We also had Better B versus Bivol in a fight that was a razor close fight. Razor close fight right here. You know, this fight right here, Bivol really jumped in and was getting the jump on him early in the fight, as you could see. And then Better Be in the second half really turned it up, ending the fight very strong. There was a lot of two-way action, though. This fight was razor thin. I personally thought that Bivol did enough to hold on to his title, but it was that close. I'm not really mad at the decision. A rematch is definitely necessary, and as we hear, a rematch is in fact scheduled for this year, for early this year. So
looking forward to that one.
We definitely will be looking forward to that one at the Parry. And
the
we
last
also
had Ortiz, right? Was it Ortiz?
It was
Ortiz versus Bohachuk was the other.
It was Ortiz versus
candidate.
Bohachuk in another barn burner, and I'm not even gonna lie. This one right here could have been fight of the year.
This could have been,
this is fight of the year. All of these fights are fight of the year. This one right here was pure violence. It was just ruthless aggression, throwing caution into the wind. As we see, Ortiz came out once again, similar to the Better Be fight. Ortiz coming out, getting the jump on the taller Bohachuk. Bohachuk later splitting his eye during the fight, splitting his left eye, causing some blood in the fight, bringing some drama. And in the end, very close decision, but it was awarded to Ortiz. I thought it was well deserved, hard fought. I wouldn't mind seeing this one again. That was
I definitely want to see that fight again. I had Ortiz winning the early rounds, and then Bohachuk really started to separate himself. I believe he dropped him. He dropped him a couple times in that fight. I think one knockdown wasn't even called the knockdown. It probably should have been. But I felt like Ortiz just pulled out the fight. I think he won the fight by a close margin, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he won the last round,
I was gonna
which,
say
in my opinion,
to me,
gave him the
he
fight.
solidified it by closing the show. He was able to
Yeah.
close the show at the end of the fight. And that right there, I thought it all came down to the last round personally.
But Bohachuk definitely made his name. Definitely showed what he was, that he belonged up there in the top echelon of contenders at 154. Great fight, great fighter, and I think it definitely deserves a rematch. But our fight of the year goes to
Usyk and Fury. Now, the fact that this was such a great fight at the heavyweight level and what was at stake, the history from the first fight, which the first fight was a good fight as well. This was it was hard to pick, I'm not gonna lie, but you just had to go with the heavyweight, the premier division in boxing. You had to go with the two heavyweights. This was just a phenomenal fight down to the end. Both fighters feeling like they should have got the nod, but when it was all said and done, Usyk once again pulled it off, showing to be the number one heavyweight in the world today.
I think that was I think definitely that was my fight of the year. But again, but the Ortiz Bohachuk fight could have easily been fight of the year. But for me, it was what was at stake. Uh, I believe this was the second fight we talking about, right? This
Yeah,
was the
this was the
second one.
second fight right
Yeah.
here.
So the undisputed championship wasn't on the line this time, but nonetheless, it was for who's the top dog of this era. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I thought this fight was competitive. I thought it was close. I still thought Usyk won by winning the championship rounds, but it was definitely a good fight, and I thought it was just as competitive as the first, man. So, fight of the year for sure, Usyk Fury 2.
Mm-hmm.
What we got up next?
Fighter of the year. You got fighter of the year next, which was between
Fighter of the year was
fighter of the
between
year, and then fighter of the year was basically between Daniel Dubois,
Dubois, that boy.
Usyk, Usyk, who had Dubois had let's look at Dubois' year. Dubois had a pretty decent year. He came out and had a great fight with
He had against Philip Herkovich.
Herkovich in a fight that many people expected him to lose, stopping Herkovich on cuts. You know, then he came back and fought the former heavyweight champion of the world, and after being rocked with a right hand, he was able to survive that and then catch an incoming Joshua with a left hook that it seemed like he kind of just laid it on him. Like, the left hook kind of just paw. It was like he hit him with a paw. I haven't seen a knockout punch from that angle and that type of punch since the late great Diego Corrales. That was a great punch right there. Just a lot of power in that little thud. That was one of them thudding punches right there. Just caught my man clear, and it was over for him. You know.
Yeah,
We
Daniel
also
Dubois
had
definitely. Hold on, we speak on Dubois real quick. I'm becoming a big fan of this kid. He's still young, big kid, showing a lot of heart. I feel like he improved a lot since his fights against Usyk and Joe Joyce when he got his whole orbital bone shattered. People thought he gave up and he wasn't really that guy. And then he came back in 2024 to beat Philip Herkovich, who was on a crazy run. I believe they sparred before, and if based off the stories from the sparring, Herkovich really got the best of him in the sparring and really thought he was going to run through the kid and end up getting the brakes beat off and getting his face cut up like a cheesesteak. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes and he knocks out the former the former unified heavyweight champion of the world, and Anthony Joshua. I mean, not just knocked him out, man. He beat that dude. He had that dude on skates. pretty much the whole
Yeah,
fight. Every time he hit that boy, it was something hard. He
yeah,
was, he was meeting the canvas, man. So I definitely think Dubois is worthy of being fighter of the year. But other, who else we got as a nominee?
yeah. Usyk, who he came off of we just seen him coming off of a spectacular, hard fought win in a rematch for the heavyweight champ, the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. So
Right,
we seen him win the championship last year and defend the title. Now he only had the one fight, but the significance of that one fight holds a lot of weight here in this category.
right.
So we have Daniel Dubois, we have Usyk in a way, who had a hell of a year this year as well. You know, there you see
Beat
his
Luis
pops right
Nery.
there, him and his pops. You see his pops training him right there. Um, I believe
That's Nery.
this was when he fought Nery right here. This was a vicious thudding once again, a vicious thudding of Nery, and then here you see him against a Doheny, where he just made him just beat him. I don't know what he did. It's like he punched him in his stomach and dislocated a disc in his back. I don't know what just happened just there, but that right there was probably, very I don't know what he did, but that man right there got some serious power. You seen my man's face was just all the way disconfigured and grotesque and lumped up. And then he hit him with a body shot, and my man started holding his back. So I don't. This guy has a different type of power. That guy, the monster, yeah, he's definitely a monster for real.
Yo, in the way, hit my man in the body and had him walking like Fred Sanford, man. Like
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
walking.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Elizabeth, like yo, that
yeah.
was wild, man.
I've
That
never
was wild.
seen like he punched my man in the front of his back. How does that happen? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that happens right there, but that
Oh
was
man,
different
shout out to
right
Baba Sekou.
there. That was
Yo,
absolutely different right there, man.
he hit my man and had him walking like Fred G. Sanford, bro. Like his back went out when he got hit in the stomach. That was wild. That was wild, man. But our fighter of the year award goes to.
Well, that was the only. We didn't have no other. I feel like
No, it was
we
just
got to.
we had it was Dubois.
Yeah, man, Rodriguez had a hell of a year,
Oh,
man.
oh
Man,
yeah.
you got the
Oh
Jesse
man, I'm
Rodriguez, who I feel
tripping.
like
I'm
like
tripping. Yeah, I'm tripping. I forgot about my man. One of
you
my
know what I
favorite
mean?
fighters right here. One of my favorites right here. My man Bam,
Yeah,
who
man.
fought Estrada,
Yeah, he
who's a
fought
legend.
Estrada right here and
Oh,
just broke him
folded
down,
him.
just tore his. That was some serious body work right there. You know what I mean? And then here we see him again against what was this, Guevara, and
Gravetta.
you know what I mean? And what he did to Guevara was something serious, man. Like uppercut just laid him down. My man took his mouthpiece off. No mas, no more. That's over. Lights out. Kiss the baby. Um,
Bam is
Bam
definitely a
is
top
showing to
10.
be a very special fighter. I've
Yes.
been really impressed by this boy, Jesse Rodriguez. Jesse Bam Rodriguez is definitely had a hell of a year. This was a breakthrough year for, like I was saying earlier, we had some breakthrough years for some of these fighters, and he was one of them fighters who had one of them breakthrough years right there.
Yeah, he came off in 2023 of beating Sonny Edwards, beating the
Indeed.
brakes off him, and then goes right and he fights the legend Estrada and fold him like some
And just
laundry.
he
Like
folded that boy like a paper towel, man. That was
this.
outrageous, man. That was
This is
envelope status.
Bam Rodriguez is on my my favorite fighters list. I really like Bam.
He's definitely a
He
must
may
watch
be
fighter.
he if he's not in your top five, he's just outside of the top five, pound for pound.
He's
Six,
definitely
seven, six,
he's
seven,
definitely
eight, eight-ish, round there somewhere. But you gotta have him in your top 10 pound for pound because Bam is a beast. But who do we select as our fighter of the year, brother?
this one right here was a very, very tough one. Um, I personally felt like Usyk deserved the nod. But also you had to look at the work that Daniel Dubois did. He pretty much has resurrected his career from the basement. It was almost over for this kid. They was almost ready to write this kid out, and now he's a good fighter too out of heavyweight contention again. So Dubois definitely had a had a had a crazy year. You know what I mean? Usyk had a crazy year. Um, not wanting to really, not liking, wanting to have a definitive fighter of the year is always something I look forward to. However, this year, I'm gonna have to say that it was it's a co-fighter of the year this year. This year's Usyk and and
Daniel Dubois. I
Usyk and
think
Dubois.
I think it's only right. Um, we go with the fighters of the year. I agree with this. I just think but here's why. This is for the people who watching. Here's why we decided to go with the Let's keep it all. Let's get some transparency here, right? Because me and
Mm-hmm.
Che, we don't always, of course, if you've been watching the Parry, a lot of the times we clash. We got different opinions about a lot of things when it comes to boxing and fighters and this, that, and the third. That's why we the Parry though, right? So he's making an argument for Usyk. I'm making an argument for Dubois, and we just both got to a point where it was like we both agreed that each other was right. So we might as well go with the because I don't think you can argue that uh Usyk beating Fury. While we know he beat Fury in 2023, came back last year and he beat him again. Uh, he became the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Beating was somewhat argued as the top heavyweight. He's coming up from cruiserweight. Uh, he's the top dog. Like I don't think there's any way you can slice it. It's the biggest fight of the year in regards to heavyweight boxing, if not all of boxing. It was the biggest fight of the year, and he won. And he won in great fashion. I mean, he didn't knock him out. He did hurt him. Did they call it a knockdown? It wasn't the last fight, but the first fight. I know he hurt him and almost had that boy on skates. In his second fight, he didn't really. It was just as competitive, but it was just as impressive from Usyk. But Daniel Dubois, to me, that run that he had last year was just something I didn't expect from Daniel Dubois to go
It was
from
a hell of a run.
right like beating Jarrell Miller in 2023. Then going to 2024, you fighting Philip Herkovich, who was on a crazy run, looking like he was about to get a title opportunity. He beats him up. Then he goes and fight in Wembley Stadium in front of 90,000 Brits, and he knocks out Anthony Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
Mm-hmm.
was a hell of a run. That's you can't argue with that, bro. Those the
That was a
co-fighters of the
crazy.
year.
That was a crazy run right there. That was a crazy run right there.
Right.
You know.
Oh, absolutely. Shout out to Quran Allah, man. Absolutely makes an enough of an argument for them to settle it in the ring. Usyk Dubois too, because remember people were saying that you know, I
But
mean
yeah, we gotta
Dubois
go
got
on.
robbed of a
We gotta,
knockout.
we gotta continue, bro. You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
So what's
We
up
got
next? What
knocked
we
out
got
of the year.
next?
We got knocked
Ooh.
out of the year, man.
Okay. What's the nominees for knockout of the year? this is my listen. This is my favorite. This is the one I was waiting to get to right here. We saw a lot of great knockouts, man. But all right, let's get to it. Who we got up first for knockout of the year, brother?
For knockout of the year, your boy Daniel Dubois with his sensational knockout of Anthony Joshua.
Right, which we played. No need to go into that footage again. Um,
You know,
and then
then
who
we
else we
had
got?
then we had um man, we had Rodriguez
No,
against
Knockout? No. We had Badi versus Sylvie.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of right there.
We had, hold on, pull that up.
So we had Body versus Sylvie, which was a
Yo, holy, look, bump, bang,
now this was a
boom.
fight that Body was actually losing the whole fight. He actually
Right.
wasn't winning in that fight and was able to come back and pull this off right here, which was just a vicious. Let's see that again. See how the left hook just clipped him. I should say you see how the right, pardon me, it was the right which caught him right there.
You caught him with the right hand first, stunned him. Boom, bang. Oh,
right hand.
Oh.
That shit looked like a fastball.
Yo, listen, man.
Followed by the left hook. We seen it followed by the left hook. It was vicious right there.
He caught him with the short right, stunned him. Slip, made him miss. He caught him with the right hand again, was put his lights out, and then the left hook kind of just said, all right, night for real.
And part of me, I didn't mean to disrespect my man. I said Rodriguez. I met Iglesias and Svendenko. You know what I mean? Svendenko. That was
another great knockout.
That right there. This one right here. Let's play this one right here. This one right here was just clipped him with a vicious left hook right to the temple. And you see my man as he hits the ground, whole body just decides it wants to just not, you know what I'm saying, and just stretch all the way out and just look like he went to a convulsion or something. Play that clip again, man. That was just one there for the ages. Right there. That was just one right there. Like you see the clip, you see a short left hook and just caught him right there on the temple. Now let's go on.
It was actually a short right hook and had your man doing the belly flop on his back. How you doing a belly flop on your back?
But
that's crazy.
Who else did we have?
We also had knockout of the year. We had it was Joshua Dubois, Iglesias Fedenko, and Badi Silva. Those was our 3 nominees right there.
We had Joshua, and you didn't play that clip.
Yeah, I didn't play the Dubois Joshua clip again.
Nah, but we had Joshua and Ngannou.
Ngannou. I don't think you pulled that clip up for me, brother, but yeah, Joshua and Ngannou was another nominee. All great knockouts. Yeah, I will say that right hand was Joshua might have had knockout of the year up until
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, man. To me, that was a clear. Glacier clearly won that one. Just what he did to my like. I mean, it was a tough one though because the let's look at this because my man, it was a tough one.
For me, it was the aftermath of the knock, like the response, his body, like what is happening here, bro? He's looking like yo.
Because I'm gonna say you this, Body Sylvie was a vicious one, but this right here, just the aftermath. You see how he reached and tapped that temple. You look at his arm, just muscles, all type of convulsions, and just body, just like I said, just not cooperating, doing what it want to do. Like my man caught all type of shakes right there. I was worried about him in that fight after that, because that there. Look at this.
Yo, he looked like he was trying to get on his bike, yo. Yo, he's all right. He's safe and he's home with his family, so it's okay to, we don't wish no ill will on no fighter.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, Iglesias gets knockout a year for me strictly off the aftermath of how it looked. Like my man Rock said, he looked like he was drowning.
Yeah, he was drowning. It looked like it. He was drowning. Yeah, man, it was over for him. Yeah, man.
Yo, your man looked like he was doing a belly flop on his back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He was flopping like
in
a
the hole or
fish
something.
There,
you know what I mean? Like trying to reach,
like your man was He was trying to get on this bike,
Hell
yo. I
yeah.
don't know what he was doing over there, man. That was insane. But I'm not gonna lie. Before we even move on to the next one, I do want to watch this one more time because bang, bang. Oh, oh, brother, man. Like, brother, he made a meme out of you, man. He almost looked like
That was
Pacquiao.
Apollo Creed right there.
Yo,
That was he caught
woo.
the shakes on him, man. You know, and that it was crazy because Sylvie was in control of that fight. At least it seemed it appeared that way.
Right.
He was winning every minute of that fight prior to those 2 seconds, which was coming out of the 6th round. Early in the 6th round, he came out and boop, pop, pop.
Yo,
The
they say
3 piece. It was
boxing
a
is
4 piece, but the 4th one was really it just grazed him. He was already on his way
he
out.
was already on his way out, man, turning
So
into a Manny Pacquiao meme, man. As they say,
yeah,
boxing is the drama of the unexpected, man. And
absolutely.
that's why we love the sport. So shout out to Iglesias for winning the knockout of the year, from the Parry, and having my man doing the motorboat. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, the backstroke or whatever homeboy was doing on the mat, man. You know what I mean? Like that
Man,
was
like he was water skiing or something. Like he was jet skiing. It's always
Yo,
okay. Man,
that was crazy. That
what
was
the hell he was
absolutely
doing?
crazy. But
Nah,
yo, let me
man.
just remind people to please jab that like button, man. Uppercut that subscribe button. Go ahead and lead hook that share button and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. Follow us on Instagram at the Parry 101, Twitter at the Parry 101, TikTok at the.parry.101 on all forms of social media, man. Support your bros. We back for 2025. And we here to stay this time. You know what I'm saying? We here to stay. On our way to 1,000 subscribers, man. Just want to thank everybody, all our subscribers, all the people who support us. Shout out to Mental Son. Shout out to Baba Sekou. I see you in the chat. Shout out to Fight or Get Knocked Out. He asked Jay Opataya or David Naika, who you got. I got Opataya. I think he's probably the best at cruiserweight at this moment. He's probably I like him to win that fight, but it should be a good one. Shout out to Karan Allah. Shout out to Sister Amanatu. Luis Rivera, my man Rock. Definitely appreciate all of y'all, man, for coming through and supporting us, man. Once again, please hit that like button, and it really helps out the channel and the algorithm, as they say. So moving on. So we did a fight of the year, which was Fury Usyk. We did fighter of the year, which was the co-fighter of the years with Daniel Dubois and Usyk. We did knockout of the year, which was Iglesias versus Fandango. We did trainer of the year, which was Freddie Fondora. Prospect of the year, which was Abdullah Mason. And the last one we have, this is our last award that we're going to speak about, which is promoter of the year. Promoter of the year. Again, I think that PBC kind of, I thought that their contract with Amazon Prime would reestablish them on the map. I don't know what's going on with PBC and the fights that they choose to put on. I mean, that they all putting on some good fights. Don't get me wrong, but they're only putting on their premier fighters, and these guys only fighting once. If we lucky, maybe twice a year. Tank is fighting. He fought last year. He fought Frank Martin. This year he's fighting Lamont Roach, and he's already talking about retirement. You got David Benavidez, who fought last year, who fought Vosdick last year. This year this is a damn good fight coming up, I believe, in February, against David Morrell. That's a goodie. But we talking about 2024. But that's gonna be a good fight. I'm excited for that one. But PBC, yeah, they kind of slid off the map, man. You even got like other promotions like Pro Box, like putting on good cards now, like, and I'm seeing more from them, more from Matchroom, which is Eddie Hearn. But our nominees for promoters of the year would be let me see what we got in these. Give me 1 second, brother. Oh man. All right. some of these. Well, we got Turkey Al Sheikh. Well, is
Turkey
he a
House
promoter?
Chick. We had Eddie Hearns from Matchroom. We
Mm-hmm.
have Frank Warren from Queensbury. We also have Bob Aaron from Top Rank, and then Sheik, the Sheikh Al Sheikh, Sheikh Al Shaky. Shout out to the Sheikh, to Al Sheikh,
Shout out to the Sheikh. Um,
yeah,
I
Al
think
Sheikh, Al Sheikh, Al Sheikh. The Sheikh, he basically, I mean, I don't know, he's not technically a promoter, but the man's promoting. The man is
well,
putting on the biggest events in boxing right now. So he
he's
has to be mentioned in the promoters.
he's paying for the cards, right? He's putting up the money. He's he's providing. Listen, every card that has been associated with Riyadh season has had some of the best promotion I've ever seen. Like ever. I mean, the commercials these dudes, you could they remember back in the days when like Busta Rhymes and another artist that I'm not going to mention his name because he got a serious court case that, and we're not mentioning his name on his channel, but they was doing like $1 million hip hop videos, like, and you like they was doing things in these videos like the special effects and the camera work and the directors that was behind these videos was, and they was had $1 million budgets for hip hop videos. He's doing that level of like promo videos and commercials for these fights. Like the Tyson Fury Usyk commercial was insane. The Bivol Beterbiev one, when it was like gladiators in Russia climbing mountains looking crazy. It was crazy. The 5 versus 5 Queensberry versus Matchroom card, and they had every fighter like as an alias to like some type of mobster or assassin or something. It was absolutely insane. The creativity that he has for some of these promotional items that he's using to promote these fights. And he's getting a lot of promotional companies and promoters to work together that wouldn't normally work together. Like, Top Rank and Bob Arum is doing business with, Matchroom, and their fighters are fighting each other. Actually, to have Queensberry and Matchroom actually doing business together is insane because we know that the history between them two, going back to Eddie Hearn's father and Frank Warren, didn't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Like really disrespected each other, didn't really like each other, and now they're doing business together and putting on some great, excellent cards on the zone. Probably the best fight cards of the year. Like I don't even think it's up for question. And then you have fighters like Terrence Crawford. He goes over, he leaves Top Rank, fought on BLK Prime real quick. Then he goes to PBC, beats up Errol Spence. Then he goes on to fight with Turkey Al Sheikh on the Riyadh season to fight Madrimov at his debut, 154 pounds, and I can't imagine that he's not going to continue doing business with him. Shakur Stevenson left Top Rank. He's now with Matchroom, and due to Turkey Al Sheikh's money, I'm pretty sure, and his ability to get him seen and give him the big fights that he want. Even Boots Ennis is over there now, getting Matchroom and Riyadh season money, man. Like, so the nominees, like you said, it was Bob Arum, Top Rank, which they put on some great cards this year. I can't even be mad at them. But a lot of cards that kind of went under the radar. But if you was watching, you saw some great fights. But I think, if we're being honest, what Frank Warren did this shit last year was something impressive. All his fighters, all his biggest fighters, won, and it was on some great cards. But Turkey Al Sheikh got them all working together. Beterbiev is a top rank fighter, and he's fighting Bivol, who's with Matchroom, if I'm not mistaken, and Eddie Hearn now. Anthony Joshua fighting Daniel Dubois, and Daniel Dubois bringing the Queensberry fighter fighting Joshua, who's Matchroom. You got Usyk, Fury. Fury is Queensberry. Usyk, if I'm not mistaken, who was he promoted by? Is he on Top Rank?
Usyk?
Yeah,
I'm not.
I'm not even sure who he's with anymore. But nonetheless, all these great fight cards are due to one person, and I think everybody kind of know who our promoter of the year is. So we don't just get to it. What you think?
The Sheikh. This the Sheikh. Yeah, you
His
see,
Excellency,
there you
as they
see it
call
with Better Beef and Beevil before they monumental clash. You know, he like you said, he put everybody together. He's getting promoters who normally don't work together, working together. Um, he's basically basically changing the whole trajectory of boxing right now. You know, with a lot of the things that he's doing.
I think his business model. How long is it sustainable? Um, I don't know.
You know, he got
Um,
that oil money, so it's a little bit different over there.
See, and that's the thing because it's. I think it's bigger than the money they make off pay per view or what have you. They're trying to make Saudi Arabia and Riyadh like a destination for people to go and get entertained and all kinds of sports. Remember they had the golf thing going on out there. I think they got Formula One racing now. Um, and now they have boxing. And they're putting on the biggest fights in the sport. Like this card, I wish I could pull it up, man. But this card, Bivol Beterbiev 2, is insane. This is an insane card. Shakur Stevenson is fighting what's my man name? You know what? I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah, you got hold up. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold up. Yeah, you have Floyd Schofield. Yeah, you got Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield. You got Carlos Adames versus what's my man name? I can't even really see this. Trying to find a good picture to pull up here. Yeah, Hamza Shiraz, who's a good fighter, man. He's on the Queensberry. You got Virgil Ortiz Jr. fight Israel Madrimov. You got Jaylee Zhang fighting Agit Kabayel, who's listen, man. If you ain't seen that dude fight, listen, that's gonna be that's gonna be a damn good fight, bro. This is all due to the Sheikh, man, and that'll owe you money. I hope he can get PBC on board some kind of way, like really make all of these promotions work together so we can really cut through the yellow tape or the red tape as they call it, so we can get the fights we actually want to see. There's no reason why we can't get Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson this year or next year. Like it should happen, and it shouldn't be because of promotional companies and contracts with this network or that network. Let's get it all together, man. And I like his business model. I like the fact that he's seemed to have that oil money. He puts up the money to get the biggest fights, to put on the best cards. I think the Zone is a great platform for these fights. And yeah, took out all Shaker's demand, bro. He's kind of saving the sport, in my opinion. That's why 2024 was such a big year. You on mute, brother? You on mute?
He definitely made a big impact. Definitely got a lot of big fights together. Got a lot of promotional companies that normally wouldn't have been dealing with each other. You know, he opened that wallet up and just, you know, was possibly going to see a Canelo Crawford fight. That's actually a possibility right now. You know, and
Yep.
you know, all because of the Sheikh happens to say, look, man, I can, what you want? What you asking for? So it's definitely, the Sheikh definitely has, you know, it almost reminds me of the PBC takeover. when Al Heyman came on the scene, and just everybody was going to Al Heyman, and he was on network TV, and and the reason why I'm saying it reminds me of that in a sense, because if you remember, Al Heyman didn't come out as a promoter. Al Heyman wasn't a promoter. He was pretty much an advisor,
Right.
manager of some sort, but in the mix of his advising and managing, he was promoting the biggest fights. He had the biggest fighters under his contract with him.
Right.
And so I'm saying that to say that this is what it reminds me of. And it seems like Al Sheik has been doing his homework as far as not just, the entertainment value of the sport and how to maximize that, but also business models. So he definitely seems like he's been doing his homework.
Well, let's continue to move on, man. But shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh and the Riyadh season and Matchroom and the Zone and everybody that's involved, Queensberry Promotions, everybody that's involved over there that's bringing us the best fight cards that we could possibly ask for at the moment, and is pursuing to make bigger fights, like you said, Canelo, Crawford, Shakur, Tank. Like, this man is gonna put up the money to make some of these big fights happen. But let's move forward. We also got women's awards we want to talk about. Fight of the year as far as women's boxing is concerned. Uh, Fight of the year and knockout of the year. Uh, who was the nominees that we have for fighters of the year, women's boxing?
Um, we had Gabriella Fundora, Sweet Poison, who
Love that name.
held a held,
That's the sickest name in boxing, yo.
you know, um, she world championship fights this year, victorious, 2 knockouts, 1 decision. She's just on fire. Her father was trainer of the year. She just had a breakout year. She's to me, we're looking at a future star in women's boxing.
In women's boxing.
In Gabriella Fundora. Gabriella Fundora is definitely someone to watch. She's definitely
Right.
someone to watch, and she had a breakout year this year. You
Right.
know, Clarissa Shields, who continues to have um, success, and who continues to create, or I should say, continues to topple new obstacles and accomplishments, winning the heavyweight championship, women's heavyweight championship this year, which was a absolute big feat in itself. You know, um, another accolade under her belt.
And who
So
was
we
the
had
third nominee? Was it Katie?
what's that?
Who was the third nominee?
The third nominee was in fact Katie Taylor.
Katie Taylor. Well, and the winner of the female fighter of the year.
Well, real quick, just to speak on Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor had, a crazy rematch with Serrano. It was insane. It was, I personally thought that Serrano edged the fight out, but she was able to stay all over Serrano, and Serrano just was not able to make the proper adjustments to get out of her way. She was hitting her with some straight shots right up the pipe, and just Serrano just did not seem to be able to have what it takes. But
Okay.
winning, that was a rematch. You know, fight of the year material. So yeah, she had a great year as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Amanda Serrano fight was her only fighter last year. She fought Chantel Cameron twice. I saw the first one where she actually lost that fight. She came back and avenged that, and then went on to fight Amanda Serrano once again, which, you know, in comparison to the first one, was just as good. But Amanda Serrano got that nasty cut. But shout out to Katie Taylor, who's one of the greats, all-time great women's boxers. But our winner for female fighter of the year Unfortunately, I don't have any video clips, so I gotta reuse this picture. We're gonna just want to give it to the sister Gabriella Fundora here with her father and her brother, all champions. Um, I gotta agree with I gotta agree with you on this one, man. She had a great run. Like you said, I believe 3 championship fights. I believe she only got 15 or 16 fights at the moment. Her last 3 fights, she went 3-0, 2 knockouts. Her last fight that I saw her, she actually absolutely dominated. She kind of built like her brother, tall, long, lanky, could punch, got good movement, and she knows how to stay in the pocket and not get hit. Like she's a damn good fighter. She had a good year. She still ain't reached that top echelon yet. She's not up there with the Clarissa Shields and the Katie Taylors and the Amanda Serranos and what's the other
And
sister
the
name? I can't think of
Alicia and the
the
Alicias,
yeah,
Bum
thank you.
Bum
Bum is like she's not up there with them yet, but she's on her way. I think she's a future star in the sport. So shout out to Gabriella Fundora, Sweet Poison, which I think is the
definitely
sickest name in boxing. Man, I
she
love
definitely
that.
has the
Just say it, I smile, yo. That's such an ill name.
she has that style where it catches you, she catches you at the end of those punches, and it's just a problem. She fights her height. She has some pretty good, some pretty sturdy power behind those punches.
Hmm.
You know, I like to see more of her in the future and see where her career goes.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. I like her better than her brother, but moving on. Um, we got knockout of the year. You want to get to the knockout of the year? We will do fight of the year. We'll
Knockout of the
say fight
year
of the
was
year
really
last.
we just awarded the knockout of the year, and the knockout of the year was Clarissa Shields against LePage Jonice.
Joe and Nice or
Joanice. What's
something
her
like
name?
that.
Vanessa. Jo, the sister,
Joe.
the lady, LePage Jonice. Huh.
Now let's pull that up. You see right here. To the boom. Holy moly! You thought you would have slammed that girl
And
head
this
on the
was for the
canvas.
heavyweight championship of the world, which really was a big factor behind this. Moving up in weight, knocking out the heavyweight champion of the world, and by here the writing was on the wall. It was already over. You see Tony Weeks waving it off. Clarissa Shields now becoming the female heavyweight champion of the world.
Shout out to the Gwoat. Shout out to Pat Poos.
Shout out to the GOAT. Just had a film drop on Christmas.
Oh man. Oh man, I'm stupid. Yeah, but shout out to Gwoat. You know what I'm saying? Out here
Mhm.
taking women's husbands. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she's definitely the Gwoat in my book. I don't think it's not even close as far as accomplishments, as far as skill, accolades. She's the Gwoat. That's all. Nothing else to be said, man. She's the Gwoat, man. So okay, so we got fight of the year, which is Gabriella Fundora. Knockout of the
Mhm.
year, Clarissa Shields versus Vanessa LePage Joannice. Hope I'm saying her name right. No disrespect. Now we go into fight of the year, women's fight of the year.
Now, this one right here was basically a no-brainer.
No brainer.
I mean, this right here would have been a candidate for fight of the year, regardless of gender. It was
Gender.
that good of a fight. This right here was a very good fight. And we're talking about it was a controversial fight, but we're talking about Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. And this was a blood and guts fight, as you see, the blood all over the face of Serrano as as Katie Taylor pushes on. You see both fighters again feeling like they're victorious, feeling like they deserved it. I thought Serrano did enough to deserve the win. You see that nasty gash over her eye, though. It was a blood and guts fight. This was definitely one of the greatest female fights I've ever seen. The two-way action. Serrano started off real strong, peppering up Katie Taylor, but Katie Taylor just never stopped moving forward, just kept it coming, and was awarded the decision.
Like you said, I think this fight could have been like actually we did nominate this fight for fight of the year in the midst of the Usyk Fury and the Ortiz Bohachuk. Like we mentioned this fight right along with those fights, if you remember.
Mhm.
Um, but then we was like, nah, like let's just do a women's part and give them their own shine. But honestly, that fight could have eased. That fight could be over any of those fights. It was that entertaining. The first fight was just as good. This fight again, that gash that they put over that was over Serrano's eye from that headbutt was it was absolutely disgusting. But for her to continue fighting and show that much heart to push through and to in my opinion, like you, I think that she just edged the fight. But I didn't feel like I was as upset with the decision as I was in the first fight. I thought the first fight Serrano really clearly won the fight. But this fight was really close. And I felt like the issue with Serrano was she didn't make the adjustment. In the first fight, it was the same issue.
Is that same issue?
This fight though, it was like okay, I think Katie got more adjusted to her fighting style and was able to make her miss because she wouldn't make the adjustment. She kept coming straight up, throwing straight punches and walking straight into the shots of Katie
It's
Taylor. And
it seemed as if Serrano expected Katie to eventually fold to the power of her punches, and it never happened. Is early she hit her with a couple of good shots that seemed that she might have a chance to get her up out of there, and it never
it never
happened, and
happened.
she never changed up her style. She never made the adjustment. She just kept trying to muscle her way right down the pipe on her, and it cost her. It probably cost her the fight. Even though like I said, I still think she deserved the nod. It definitely made the fight a lot closer than it should have been.
I thought she edged. I thought she just won the fight by maybe like a round, but it was close. Um, And again, she didn't make the adjustments. Had she start as opposed to just coming straight in, maybe feint a little bit, you know, throw the double up on the jab as opposed to 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, straight in, straight down, straight down the lane. And Katie Taylor, the adjustment, all she did was just step off to the side, throw a shot, make her miss, pivot to the side, throw a shot. Like she was making her miss, and then the moments where she had the brawl, she did. I mean, she acting like this woman ain't Irish, man. You know them Irish, they got that whiskey in their blood, man. They ain't trying to fold. They ain't like if you know Irish fighters, man. A lot of these dudes are tough as nails, man. And excuse me, she's a woman, so she's just as tough. You know what I mean? It's gonna take a lot to get him up out of there. If you think about Mickey Ward going up against Tyrrell Gaddy and them wars they had, man, like some of them shots he was eating, you would have thought, man, he would have just took a knee and said, all right, I'm done. But nah, like they fight, man. That they're a fighting country, they're fighting people, and Katie Taylor definitely comes in that tradition of being a tough fighter. So, shout out to Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano for putting on one of the best fights of the year, if not the best fight of the year. Like you can't even front on that because it's comparable against anything the man's did. Um, it's comparable against anything the male fighters did last year. It was right up there. It was right up there. So shout out to them. And I think that, like you said, I think that was one of the greatest fights in women's boxing history. Absolutely, absolutely, man. Shout out to Barbara Sake, who says I agree. Serrano never adjusted. Taylor also landed the harder blows. Yeah, yeah. She never made the adjustment, man. So there you go. The Parry's review 2024, the best of. Once again, that's the review. Our fighter of the year, as far as men's fighters concerned, is co-fighters of the year, Daniel Dubois, and the unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk. Fighter of the year, as far as men's boxing is concerned, Fury versus Usyk, two, 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 right? Yeah. Um, Promoter of the year, Turkey Al Sheikh. KO of the year was Iglesias versus Fandango. Our prospect of the year is Abdullah Mason. Watch out for that kid, Abdullah Mason. Shout out to him. And trainer of the year is Freddie Fundora. Our women's fighter of the year is Gabriela Fundora. Fight of the year is Taylor versus Serrano 2. And the knockout of the year is Clarissa Shields versus Vanessa LePage, Joe Anise. So shout out to everybody, to all of those fighters and those fighters that gave us the great moments of 2024. Shout out to the promotional companies that put on these great cards, and, you know, the sports that we love. And shout out to networks, man. You know what I'm saying? That we could get to watch all these great fights, man. You know what I mean? Anything else you wanna discuss, my dear brother?
Well, before we end it, we lost a great fighter this year in Israel Vasquez. He gave us 4 wars with um part of the greatest brother duo in boxing champions ever, which was the Marquez brothers, and he fought Rafael Marquez in 4 wars, besting him in those wars. He just was a monster. He was just a relentless, true Mexican pride fighter, and he will be missed as far as his contributions to the sport. He's been retired for some years now, but his contribution to the sport was just violence, just true Mexican violence. So, you know, definitely want to tip my hat to Israel Vasquez. One
Rest
of
in
the
peace,
one of
Israel
the
Vasquez,
one of the
man.
great Mexican lightweight fighters that don't really get mentioned much. As a matter of fact, he was a junior lightweight.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. Definitely rest in peace. When fighters put it all on a line for our entertainment and for their families, as we know, um, we gotta give him their respect just for stepping in that arena. And he was definitely he was definitely an entertaining fighter, a warrior, in the same tradition of a lot of great Mexican fighters. So may he rest in peace. And let me just pause for the calls for 1 second. Just do me a favor, jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. Cause this is the Parry where we don't pull a duck, no punches. You know what it is, man. Jay Black, man. Let the people know what we got. What they can expect from us in 2025. Yeah, what we doing? You on mute? You on mute?
Expect the return of the Parry. Like, we took the last couple months off real quick to reformulate and get back into the drawing board. But it's just look forward to us. Keep tuning in. We're gonna be back next weekend. We're gonna have some programs this week dropping. So just look forward to us. Just more quick jab. Look forward to the quick jabs and just us on top of boxing news, present, future, what's upcoming fights, as well as that boxing history that we be breaking down.
We got a lot of videos on the channel, man. Yo, go and check out the interview we did with James Toney. That was actually one of my favorite moments from last year on this channel. Shout out to James Toney, man. Appreciate him for all
Absolutely.
his support for the Parry. And
Also,
shout
shout
out
out
to
to
y'all,
Ivan
man.
Robinson. I
Oh,
mean, I
definitely shout out Mighty Ivan Robinson, man.
can't forget Mighty Ivan Robinson. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, for
saying?
sure. We
And my
definitely
and my man
appreciate everybody, man.
Teflon Don. Can't forget my brother Jungle Teflon Don. I
Shout out to the
mean,
Teflon. Absolutely,
absolutely.
absolutely.
And everybody who continued to support, everybody who watching today, brother Sekou, we got to get you back in here rocking with us. Rakeem Shabazz, that's family right there. So just shout out to the crew,
Shout out to the crew, man. But yeah, we up
Yahoo,
out of
the whole
here.
crew.
Oh, shout out Yahoo and definitely shout out Mental Son. You know what I'm saying?
Mental son.
Artifactsclothing.com. Go ahead and check him out for your revolutionary gears and wears, fits,
Mm-hmm.
buckets,
Yeah,
fitted
and
hats,
also I can't
scarves.
forget Knowledge Born Allah. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you. Yeah,
Nah, you
definitely.
good?
But also
Yeah.
Knowledge Born Allah, Mental Son, Artifact Clothing. Check them out and Knowledge Born Allah. You know what I mean? He did a lot of behind the scenes stuff for us that might have went unnoticed to the or might have went unseen to the public, but you know it was important.
Nah, absolutely. So y'all stay in tune. Excuse me, to the Parry. Don't forget to hit that like button, man. Hit that share button. Spread the word. Let the people know that we back and we black. You know what I'm saying? Talk about this boxing. Keep y'all updated on boxing news. But remember, once again, my name is Bomani UFG, and this is the Parry. We don't pull or duck no punches. And I'm here with my brother.
The Pragmatic Blak.
And until next time, we up out of here.
Actually, now we're going to show you how to catch the jab. Actually, in boxing, it's called parrying.